Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Cracking the Cryptic, and we have a little celebration in store for you today. The puzzle on the screen is by the maths professor Dorlir. It's called 1011 Slitherer Crimsonite. Any one of those things I could be pronouncing wrong. But Dorlir made this puzzle to celebrate the fact that today is Dorlir's son's first birthday. So Rubin, many, many happy returns. Your father is responsible for the most incredible amount of joy, actually, to puzzlers all over the world who have been solving his puzzles now for at least 2 years, I would say. And some of the puzzles by Dorlir are just, well, they're all great, but some of them have just been so spectacularly popular. Normally they have a little mathematical twist in them, quite rightly. And although this one, I've read this one, I'm not sure there is a lot of maths in this. Read the rules already. It's an intriguing rule set, quite unique, and this is what we're going to be having a go at as a birthday celebration for little Rubin today. So I will read you the rules in a moment or two's time, but let me give you an update on some other things first. Our Fog of War Sudoku app, our new app, is basically out on all platforms except Apple, where we still haven't heard back from them. I'm not sure if they work at the weekends there, but it's out on Steam, it's out on Android, and have I got a picture for you? I might have a picture. Let's have a look. There we go. There's a James Sinclair Fog of War puzzle on the screen. It really is a spectacular collection. In fact, Dorlir features in it. Dorlir Fog of War Sudoku. Yeah, I know for many of you, actually, Fog of War is your favourite type of variant Sudoku. It is a really, really good innovation because it works so smoothly with computer solving. And if you are new to our apps, if you're buying on Steam for your computer, it's fine. That's very clear. If you are trying to get hold of the puzzles on Android or on Apple, the way that works now is you download the free base Cracking the Cryptic app, which actually has some free puzzles in it. But then within that app, you will be able to find the Fog of War pack of puzzles available. So that is how to get it. I mean, you can also get the Line Sudoku app, the Domino Sudoku app, and some of the approachable Sudoku apps that way. So do check it out. Honestly, it will be worth your puzzling time. Apart from that, over on Patreon, we've got I think we've got Mark's crossword videos gone up recently, but the most important thing over there is Duality 2, which is our Sudoku hunt for the month. The Skunk Works have created that one. It's 16 puzzles in all, with the dubious prize this month. If you can get a solution to us by the 20th of November, you'll be in with a chance of having the opportunity, but not requirement, of making a Sudoku video with me. So if that is of any interest to you, then have a go at the puzzles and see how you get on. And then I've got some birthdays to do, some other birthdays apart from Rubin's birthday. Let's have a look at those. In fact, 2 of them are late. But neither of the late ones, for a change, are my fault. So John, over there in California, you turned 27 yesterday, and I know this because your girlfriend Elise wrote to us, but the message arrived too late for me to do anything about it yesterday. So I apologise for that. I hope you had a great birthday with, of course, a large amount of chocolate cake. And also David, you turned 68 yesterday. And I know this because your wife Tammy wrote to us very amusingly. I think you're over in Arkansas. And she said that you're the greatest husband on earth, bar none. And due to your overall fabulosity, you definitely deserve a shout out. But Tammy did also confess that her message to me was late. It was late, so it's not my fault, David. I hope you had a great day yesterday anyway. Now, birthday's actually today. Anne, you've turned 71 today. And Anne, you met both me and Mark, if I remember correctly, at Stratford-upon-Avon at our event that we held a couple of weeks ago now. And thank you for writing to us, and thank you for saying you enjoyed it. And I hope you have a great birthday today. I'm not sure you're going to get the message today, and you might be out of the country and incommunicado. But as and when you get it, let us know if you had a good birthday. I hope there was some cake. Next, Levi, who's turning 18 today, over there in Hungary. I think you've been watching the channel for about a year. And I hope you did get the chocolate cake you were hoping for, Levi. Many happy returns. And then finally, Sarah. Now, Sarah, your spelling of your name, it could be Sarah, and I'll feel awful if I've got this wrong. But Sarah, you and your partner, Per, were moving to a small farm in the Swedish countryside yesterday. So I think last night would have been your first night in your new home together. And then it's your birthday today, so fantastic. Sarah, I hope you had an absolutely brilliant birthday, and I hope the move went well. And with that said and done, let us have a look at Dorlir's puzzle. This has got 2 stars out of 5 for difficulty. I looked it up on Logic Masters. Lots of great comments. So let's have a look at the rules to 10-11 Slitherer Crimsonite by Dorlir. Is this a Slytherin reference, Slitherer? And what is Crimsonite? That's not a thing, is it? I've no idea. Anyway, these are the rules. Draw 4 3x3 boxes in the grid that don't overlap, and fill them with the digits 1 to 9. Digits can't repeat in a row, column, or 3x3 box. Cells that are not in any box are empty, and their value is 0. Digits can't repeat in a cage and sum to the clue given in the top leftmost corner of that cage. So these cells sum to 10, these sum to 11, but obviously, well, I say obviously, and forgive me if this is akin to solving, but we can't have a 3x3 box that does that, for example, because the triangular number for 5 is 15. So the minimum digits we could, if all of these digits didn't have a value of 0, and given they all have to be different, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is too many to get for that to work. So something strange is going on. Right, and then we have to draw 4 snakes. Oh, maybe that's the Slitherer reference. Draw 4 snakes, each existing completely inside one of the 3x3 boxes. Right, so each 3x3 box contains a snake, is what that's saying. Each snake is a 1-cell wide path that only moves orthogonally and must pass through every cell in its box. So if this was if that was a 3x3 box, let's go to the drawing tool. We could draw a snake that did that, for example. So orthogonally means moves from a cell to a cell across an edge. So it doesn't do that. That is not an orthogonal movement. That is a diagonal movement, which is not the same thing. Adjacent digits along a snake sum to 10 or 11. Okay, so we've got to build a snake, and then we've got to make it so that each pair of adjacent digits add up to 10 or 11 as we move around the snake. And they seem to be all the rules. Let me just double check. There is a scroll bar, but okay, the scroll bar doesn't take me anywhere. So that is all of the rules. Do have a go. The way to play is to click the link under the video as usual. But now I get to play Let's Get Cracking. Now, I've done lots of puzzles before that are 11 by 11, and you have to put 9 Sudoku boxes in. And I am now aware through doing those puzzles of something called the pigeonhole principle, which I imagine I'm going to be able to do something with here. I feel like, let's just think about this for a moment. If I cram the 4 boxes into the top left of the grid, and then I crammed them, so if I cram them into the top left, and then I cram them into the bottom right instead, you can always see that those squares are going to be in a box, aren't they? Yeah, and if I cram them into the top right or the bottom left, these would be in a box. So, okay, so what I'm seeing from that is that these squares, oh, I'm going to get a choice of colours today. Let's go orange. And these squares, let's go purple, are always going to be within a 3x3 box. Now, can I'm not sure if it's sufficient. Oh, well, I can prove this a different way. I was going to say, I'm not sure if it's sufficient, my sort of... What did someone describe my argument as being in the early days of me looking at puzzles with deconstruction principles? Hand-wavy, I think, was the description I remember. No, I'm not going to do a hand-wavy proof. I'm going to do a genuine proof. Right, so the way the pigeonhole principle proves this type of thing is sort of after the fact. So I will put these 2x2s in the grid, and I will allege that now it is impossible to place a 3x3 box in this grid without completely overlapping one of those 2x2 boxes. And I will invite you to try and prove that wrong. It's clearly true, isn't it? If I have to put a 3x3 box somewhere in this puzzle, I will not only overlap one of these 2x2 boxes completely, I will overlap only one of those boxes completely. And yeah, I mean, well, okay, and you might say no, you could put one there. Well, you couldn't put one there and put 3 other boxes in the puzzle. That will definitely not work. Similarly, if we do, I mean, there's just not enough space. This grid is not big enough. So this is going to get a bit hand-wavy, isn't it? But effectively what I'm arguing is that because any 3x3 box that allowed 3 other 3x3 boxes to be placed in this grid would have to overlap with exactly one of these coloured cells, and only one of the coloured cells, then the moment you put one in, let's say you put one there, the next one you've got to put in, it doesn't matter which, again, you'd have a choice of how you could put the next 3x3 box anywhere, but it will overlap one and only one of these thingies. Thingies being the technical term for a 2x2, coloured 2x2. So all of these 2x2s will be in different 3x3 boxes. Now, I'm not actually sure, having said all this, that this is going to be of any use at all, because we haven't got a great deal of nexus with the cages, have we? So maybe this isn't how to do the puzzle. Let me just read the rules again. Digit cells not in a box are empty. We've got to draw the snake thing, haven't we? Okay, I've totally changed my mind. Let's go away from this and let's think about the snake thing. So let's imagine that's the 3x3 box. So how does a snake thing work? Adjacent digits. So the snake covers the entire box. And every pair of digits must sum to 10 or 11. So how do you deal with the 1? The 1 can only be next to the 9. It can never be part of a pair of cells that add to 11, can it? So, okay. So in any one of these 3x3 boxes, the 1 is a head or tail of the snake. Yeah, okay. Actually, this is quite forced, I think. So the 1... Let's say the snake goes this way. So the 1 is going to have to be next to a 9, but then the 9, on the other side of the 9, i.e. not the 1 side, it needs to be part of a domino that adds to 10 or 11. Well, we can't put another 1 in, so we're going to have to put 2 in, aren't we, to add to 11. And then the 2 is going to need an 8, because otherwise it can't even get to 10, let alone 11. And then the other side of the 8 needs to be in a domino that can't add to 10 anymore, so it will add to 11. So it's going to go 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, and it's going to continue like that, isn't it? Then it's going to be 7 in order to get to 10. Then it's going to be 4 because it can't add up to 10 again, so it has to add to 11. And then it can't have 5 here, so it's going to be 6 to add to 10 and then 5 to add to 11. Right, okay, so what we're learning from this is that there is... We're learning that the snakes that we draw in any 3x3 box have a head that's either a head and a tail that are the 1 and the 5. And every other digit that you place in the snake is part of a domino that adds to both 10 and 11. So for example, if we pick the 3, that's going to be part of a 10 and an 11. The 6 is part of a 10 and an 11. The 8 is part of a 10 and an 11. Right. Here is another point that emerges from that. Okay. Yes. Where are the head and the tail of the snake? I don't know the answer to this, but there are some places they cannot be. Yeah, let's change the orientation here slightly. So I'm just going to delete that for a moment. So we know that the 1 and the 5, just remember that the 1 and the 5 are the head and the tail. In fact, this is a general point, isn't it? So how could, if we have to draw a snake that covers every cell in this 3x3, how could the snake ever start in one of those positions? It can't. Because it just doesn't really work, does it? Because you're going to, however you do it, you're sort of going to isolate. You're going to isolate a cell. You know, you could go in there, but then you can't get out again. So you can't... There's just no way of covering the real estate. And if you try and stick to the edge and go round, you're always going to end up cul-de-saced, however you do it. So let me go back, hang on, let me go back to to thinking about the numbers. So yeah, that's very interesting. So actually the head and the tail of the snake, because we're moving, there's a bishop's move thing going on, a sort of chess bishop's move going on. Every other digit along the snake is going to be what I'll call a low digit, i.e. a digit that's lower than 6. So if you start with 1 or start with the 5 and you move alternately, which you do because we're moving orthogonally from cell to cell, every second cell along the snake will be a low digit. It will be, if we start with 5, you're going to have a 4, a 3, a 2 and a 1. Now you don't know, we don't know, well, if this was the 5, then we would obviously know that the 4 could only be, well, the 4 couldn't be there, I suppose. But we don't know the disposition, but because the head and the tail have to be in a sort of the 5 dots of a die, if that makes sense. They've got to be in those positions in order for us to be able to draw a snake that covers the entire panoply of the 9 cells. These squares will always be the digits 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 within the 3x3 box. So 6, 7, 8 and 9 are always going to occupy the sort of center cells of the sides. Now, can we use that is what I'm now wondering. It is possible to have a head or a tail in the middle. Yes, it's very possible. That's very easy. Okay. So the head or the tail, the head and the tail are in these positions. And because we alternate high-low effectively along the snake, and every cells on the same bishop's colour will always be of the same polarity, let's say, high or low. So that is a given. All right, okay, I think I've got this now. So this digit, which is a given... Oh, let's go back to my earlier idea then. Ah, yeah, okay, hang on. Let's go back to the earlier idea. I can't remember what colours I had, but let's go with this. Now, this is definitely a low digit. So within this 3x3, wherever this 3x3 goes, well, this has to be in one of those 5 positions on the dice, doesn't it? So it's either the central cell, yeah, this has only got 2 positions. This can only be in 2 positions. That's really weird. So this position is either, because it can't be in the center of a 3x3 box. Imagine it was there. We know this is a head or a tail. We now can't cover, the snake cannot cover that 3x3 box. That's what we've just shown. So that's impossible. As is that one. That's impossible. This 3x3 that's going to cover the 1 is either there to allow the 1 to be in the middle dot of the 5 on a dice, or it's going to be there, which will allow it to be in the bottom left, which is another one of those 5 key positions that we need it to be in. But either way, it means these squares are definitely high. This square is a low digit. Now this, okay, so this is going to have some interaction, isn't it, with these cages that we've got, this idea. So if we put that in the middle there, that's going to squeeze the green one over. That seems impossible. Is that impossible? Ah, got you. Right, yeah, that's impossible. Okay, so I now know the blue one. I know where the blue one goes. And the reason I know where the blue one goes is the blue one doesn't go there. Because if the blue one goes here, where does the green one go? Now, there's 2 possibilities for the green one now, because it's been shunted over into the left side of the grid. And the problem here for the green one is it's overlapping with a great deal of the 10 cage. It's definitely overlapping with 3 cells of it. Now, we know it can't be that way. That's one possibility for green, but that's going to mean that all these 5 squares have to add up to 10. That's clearly a nonsense. So we're going to disregard nonsense, and instead we're going to put it there. That doesn't work, because what do we know about the oscillation of digits around this green cage? We know these digits are all low from 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and these digits are from 6, 7, 8 and 9. Well, that doesn't work, because even if they were low and 6 and 7, that's definitely higher than 10. So this is wrong. And therefore this one must go there. And now I can extend the logic. So these have got to be 6, 7, 8, 9. These have got to be 2, 3, 4 and 5. And we know this one. I mean, that principle about the green one is just correct, isn't it? This green one is not allowed. It's not possible for that to be... Oh, let's use black. It's not possible for that to be a border of the green one. So the green one must be... it must be that way. And it's either going there or there. But it's not going here. So these squares are out of bounds. Those are not part of the... Oh, let's go slightly darker than that. These squares are not available to the green. But something's got to go. We've got to have more cage in this 10, because that cell in and of itself can't be a 10. Oh, alright, here's a very obvious point. That pink or the purple one can't go there because that's going to totally overlap the 11 cage. So that's not in. Isn't it it's the same thing? It's, oh, this is really lovely. It's just exactly the same point again. How could this pink cage go in here? It can't. Because by the logic, this is going to be a low digit on the snake. These two are both going to be high digits. And that means 6, 7 plus 1 even, which couldn't be a 1 because the 1 must be next to a 9. But that's not going to work. So we can't do this. So these squares are not part of the 10 cage, sorry, part of the pink cage. So the pink cage moves over there. The orange cage moves over there. Now, this cannot be an 11 in and of itself. So we've now got the pink cage place, which is going to push the green cage, look, up into the top of the grid, because that can't come down now. Oh, that surprised me though, because now I have got 3 cells, but they're in different boxes. Because this can't be a 10, this has got to be where the orange cage goes. That will be a low, that will be a high, that will be, oh, I see. Okay, no, that's fine. That's fine. Well, when I say fine, I don't know it's fine, but I can see how it might be possible for it to work. Because what I'm seeing there is by the polarity of snakes, this is a low digit within orange, and this is a low digit within green, and that's a high digit. So we've only got 1 high digit in that 3-cell triumvirate, and that might be okay, providing, I mean, that's going to have to be very small. I very much suspect this is going to have to be a 1, but I don't know that yet. But what I'm going to do, because it pleases me, is this, and I'm going to draw my black lines around the cages, or the box, 3x3 boxes, which we've now got located. And I'm going to have a think about the rest. Well, I could goodlift it. Is it necessary to do that? I mean, those add up to 11. On the snake in this one, these 2 cells add up to 11. Now we know from the logic that I did earlier that along the snake, every digit that is not 1 or is not 1 is part of a domino that adds up to 11. So these are connected along the snake. The snake that moves through this box, these two are joined, because there's no domino along a snake. There's no possible 11 pair that isn't adjacent along the snakes that we worked out. The snake must go 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6, 5. That is how the snake moves. And you can see that within that snake sequence there's a 2, 9, there's a 3, 8, there's a 4, 7 and a 5, 6. So it's not like these can't be consecutive along the snake, but that doesn't tell us that this is a head, or that, well, we know that the head is a 1. We know that the head is in a corner. Yeah, maybe actually I am going to do it. I'm going to give it a proper good lifting. There we go. 1, 2. Yeah, maybe this is right, because actually what I can see is, can we use, well, these are not 1s, this isn't a 1, is what we can do. We can't put 1 in the 11 cage, that won't work. 1 has to be connected to 9 on any snake within a box. So there is a 9 in one of those squares, definitely. And Well, okay. This... Yeah, this is a head or a tail of the snake in orange. Because if it isn't, imagine that was part of the snake's body, not a head or a tail. So this is sort of part of the python in a middle bit, and it's a low digit. Then we know that the dominoes on either side, one of them adds up to 10, one of them adds up to 11. So even if this was the low domino, this would add up to 10, but we've still got another digit within this cage. This is very clever, Dorlir. It really is. So that's impossible, because that can't be a 0. So that is a head or a tail, and is a 1 or a 5. And it doesn't join to this square, because that would then be at least a 10 domino. So this, it goes downwards into a 6 or a 9. 5, 6 or 1, 9. No, sorry, that is all true. But obviously this is not 5, because then this would be at least 6, and we're already on 11, and this is not a negative number. Sorry, yeah. So this is 1, this is 9. 9, 9, 9, 9, 9 all come out. So 2 comes out from that one. 1 comes out from a whole load of places. 1 in this box is now in one of those squares. 1 has to connect to 9 on a snake, so that can't be a 9. This is the 9. And one of these is a 1. And the snake in this box is going there. And look, we can tidy up more thingies. We can tidy up more thingies. And then the next place we're going, this can't be 8, because that can't be 1. So this digit is very small. It's either 2 or 3. These add up to 9, obviously. 2 or 3 is the middle of a snake in this box, isn't it? Because 2 connects to 9 and 8, and 3 connects to 7 and 8. So these squares don't include 6, and we know that the... Oh, that's bad colouring in that one. That snake is doing this. Maybe we'll have a different colour in every box for the snake. So we could have grey there, maybe. Is that? Oh no, that's not brilliant. Red again. Oh, I'm blue. Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I have got good colours to use in the snake. Can I use orange here? It's not great. I'm not sure. I might have to go with just red for this one. Okay. So again, this has to be a corner of the snake, doesn't it? Because it's not 5. So the snake in the orange box, let's go to snake drawing, must be doing that. And 6 or 7 never join up to 2. So these can't be 2. So 2 is down here, so 2 is not down here in this box. And yeah, so the 9 needs to join to a 2. It can't join to here because that's so this is 2, this is 8. This is very clever. It really is very clever. Now one of these has to be a 3, so that isn't, because a 3 must join to the 8. And now, well, the 9 in the pink box has to join to a 2, which can't be here now, so that's got to be 2. Oh, and then the 8 can be in a whole raft of places. But hang on, how does this work? Does one of these have to be... If the snake... So the snake in this box is either doing that, which clearly means that is an end point of the snake, or it's doing that, which means that is an end point of the snake. So actually what we're learning is that these squares are a 1-5 pair, which is rather interesting, which means one of these squares is a 6. So that is not a 6, because the 6 attaches to a 5. Oh, well, that can't be 5 then. Oh, this is beautiful, isn't it? Because if this was 5, 5 would connect to 6 here, and that's the 11 pair that 6 belongs to. So this would have the wrong number in it. It would go 5, 6, and then 4. And 6 and 4 is 10. So it's got to be the other, or that's lovely. That's lovely. I hope it works this way round. So it goes 1, 9, this is 5, this is 6, therefore. So 2 has to... So now this is a corner of the snake, because it's not an end. So the snake goes like that. So that's going to be 8 to go with the 2, which is going to go to 3, 7, 4, 5 now by Sudoku. 5 can't be attaching to 7 ever. So that must be 6. Oh, I could have done that by Sudoku. 6 attaches to 4 and 5. 4 attaches to 7. So that's 3. That's sort of in the corner. I mean, no, it didn't get confetti, so we can't sing for it. But I've done the bottom 2 rows now. Okay, do I get that for this? Not quite, apparently. Let's do that one. That's not 7. The 1 in this blue box attaches to a 9, which can't be here, so it must be there. So the snake... Oh, look, we must draw the snakes properly, mustn't we? So that's the first snake. Let's do a black line snake in this one. So it goes 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4, 6, 5. So that's the second snake. This snake we've got to build now. So it goes 1, 9, then it goes 2, which we don't know where that's living by the looks of things. It could be here or here, so it's not at the top. This square seems to have to be 8 now. And if that's 8, 8 can connect to 2 and 3, so that's fine. This is not 8, this is not 8. Okie dokie. Okay, let's do this slowly and surely then. So we can delete 3 from here. We can delete 7 from here. Okay. That's fine. 1, 9, 2, 8, 3, 7, 4. Don't think that was going wrong. Okay, so I'm probably going to have to think a little harder. What about this column? That's not 6. These are not 4 or 4 or 5 into those squares. Oh, so this is a 2, 3 pair. Sorry, that's going to be huge, because now this 1, 9 can't go into a 4 or a 5. It must go up into a 2. And now again, this is the end of the snake again, isn't it? Because once we've done that, that must be the end of the snake, or we're cul-de-sacking, and that's impossible. So we've got to snake round the other way, and it is going like this. 4, 6, 5. This is a 7, 9 pair, so that's a 6. There may be other bishop's moves principles going on. You know, the 7s and the 9s I'm now noticing always seem to be opposite each other, and the 6 and the 8s. So maybe if you studied the pattern, you could really work out some magic very quickly. But anyway, that seems to be a 1 by Sudoku, given this 2, 3 pair. So that means that this square is, these are a 4, 5 pair, which we know attached to the 6, don't we? So I'll use black again. This one is going like that. Be careful. Oh, we know 1 has to attach to 9, so that's got to be 9, that's got to be 7. Then we must go 2, 8, 3, I was going to say, isn't it ambiguous then which way we go? But it's not, because Sudoku helps us out at the last, and it goes that way, and then it finishes like this. So that one does that, 2, 3, 8, 4, 6, 5, and that one does that. And we've drawn our snakes. We've got the right numbers in the cages. That's beautiful. What a lovely, lovely tribute to your son's first birthday, Dorlir. Let's see if it's right. Yes. Solve counter 30 in 4 days. So it's quite a new puzzle, and it's absolutely beautiful. 1011 Slithera Crimsonite. Happy birthday, Rubin. I hope one day you watch this video. I dare say with your genes you're going to be rather a clever young man. It's probably going to watch it next year. It's probably solve it the year after that. Anyway, Dorlir, thank you so much for everything you do for the Sudoku community. Let me know in the comments how you got on with the puzzle. I enjoy the comments, especially when they're kind, and we'll be back later with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.